Problem number 2. This is Chesapeake Bay entrance, and we're working the time, distance, speed formula. And we're going to work on question number 2. With question number 2, the first thing we have to do is we have to go in and find our latitude and longitude, our first position, which is going to be marked 1256, and we find our latitude of our second position, which is going to be 1331. Now, we'll go ahead and find those positions. I'm going to zoom out. And I'm going to go ahead and find the first latitude and longitude, 3657. Well, this is 3650. This is 3655. And this is 3657. So 3657 will be 2 large marks. And it's even. And longitude is going to be 7541 even. This is 75, 40, 41 even. So we know we're going to be in this general vicinity when I come across. So what I'm going to do is take my parallel ruler, line it up on my longitude line, walk it over the 41, and when it just gets right alongside 41, I'm going to look up my chart, and here's 57 right there. So I'm going to go ahead and make my mark. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm across from where I'm going to be. Get on my latitude line, walk it down to 57, make my mark, and there's my starting point. Now you can go ahead and label that your 1256 position. Go ahead and find my next position. Zoom out. This one is it's up here. I'm going to look at my latitude. My 1331 latitude shows me at 37.7.5. Well, this is 37, this is 35. So I'm going to go up. This is 37.05, 6, 7, 0.5, which would be half, so it's going to be right in this area. I like to make a mark so I know when I take my dividers I can look and figure it out. Now my longitude is going to be 39.1. Well, this is 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. 39.1 is going to be one of these little marks right here, so it's going to be this one right here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be way up on the chart, way up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get my latitude first. Line my parallel ruler up on my latitude. Making sure I've got some on the side. I'm going to walk it down to my mark. And I can make a line. I can actually draw right on across the page. But I'm going to go ahead and look down at where I'm going to be. Where I'm going to be at 39.1. I'm going to be right in this general area. So I'm going to go ahead and make my mark. Now this is where your dividers come in. I'm going to take my dividers, because I can't take my parallel ruler, and it's going to be hard to walk it all the way up there and go across, so it's a lot easier is finding the nearest longitude line, take my dividers, make my mark, and I'm just going to go up, up, until it hits my latitude line. So there's my position. So my position is right here, and that's why I like the lead on the dividers. So I have my 2 positions. Now I want to find the distance. Now this is too wide for me to stick my dividers down here and measure it. So what I want to do is I want to find an increment of 2 or increment of 3 or increment of 5, and I'll be able to walk my way over to the position. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead. I like to find 5. So I'll take on the latitude line. I'm just putting it right on 55, and I'm opening it up to 37. Right there. That represents 5 miles. I lay my parallel rulers, and I can draw a line on it. I'm going to lay my parallel rulers and I'm going to walk it up. Every time I make a mark, I'm going to mark 5. That's 5 miles. That's 10 miles. Now it doesn't quite go 10 miles, so now I'm going to have to find out what the rest of that is. So I take my mark, put it on 10 miles, point on 10 miles, the other point at my position, and I come over to the latitude line and I find out it's 0.7. So it's 10.7 miles is the distance that I traveled. So I found out my distance is 10.7 miles. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my distance, speed, and time. My distance was what I measured across to that. That's 10.7. Now what I have to do is I have to figure out what my time was. So the 2 times that I had was 12:56. Remember, separate your hours from your minutes. And 13:31, putting the bigger number on top. Now I'm going to subtract. I can't take 56 minutes from 31 minutes, so I'm going to have to borrow. Well, when I cross over into my hours, I can't borrow a minute from my hours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to borrow a whole hour. So this 1300 hours, 13, is going to be a 12. Now remember, I'm borrowing a whole hour, so I have to add 60 minutes to my 31. So that would be 6 plus 60 minutes plus 31 minutes is going to be 91 minutes. 91. So now I can work this problem. I can take 56 minutes from 91 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I take 6 minus 1, but I'm going to go over here and borrow a minute. That makes that an 8. 6 from 11 is 5. And now 5 from 8 is 3. So I have 35 minutes. Now, remember my distance, speed, and time. I can't put 35 minutes in here. I'm going to have to divide 10.7 by 35 minutes. And I can't take minutes from speed. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to turn my 35 minutes into a decimal. Divide by 60. So I take 35, divide by 60, equals 0.58. So my time is 0.58. Now I can take 10.7 and divide by 0.58 and divide by 0.58 and I hit equal. My speed is 18.4. So 10.7 divided by 0.58 equals 18.4. Find the closest one. There's 18.3. There's my answer. And that's how you work your time, distance, speed. Remember, the big problem here is making sure you don't take that 35 miles and put in here because 35 minutes and put in here because 35 minutes is a time. And any time you're going to do any division, you have to turn that time into a decimal. And that's problem number 2.